Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Steve Jameson. I'm the library director here at the Covenant Library, and today we're going to be talking about library resources for alumni. So part of Covenant, part of our mission is training students for a lifetime of ministry. And one of the challenges there is you're here as a student, you have all these great resources from the library available to you to help you through your studies, and then you leave St. Louis or leave Covenant if you're an online student and you lose that status, and then what? What are you going to do wherever you go into ministry and you have questions or need additional training or want to think through something, or just preparing Bible studies or sermons? What can you do without the rich resources of the library? Well, as we do want our students to be successful, the library has taken steps to continue offering resources to our alumni so that they can continue to learn, be lifelong learners, and be resourced for whatever ministry God calls them to. And we're going to talk about a lot of those resources today, especially some of the newer ones that we just added very recently. So we'll start off by talking about the online resources that any alumnus can access from anywhere in the world, since those are going to be the most helpful for the most number of people. So along those lines, let's start off by talking about e-journals. So again, I should say that we can't provide access to everything we have in our library. There's various contractual obligations that we are required to adhere to in terms of who is an authorized user. But we have made special arrangements for our alumni for a number of resources. And so with e-journals, the first thing we have is the Atlas Religion database with Atlas serials. You've probably made extensive use of this database as a student to search the theological and biblical studies literature. So this has always been a high priority to give our students. And indeed, this has been the longest offering we've had in our alumni collection. This database provides full content to over 340 journals, including our own Presbyterion. So we have the entire archive of Presbyterion right there in the Atlas Religion database. Of course, if you want it does take a little time for things to get in there. So if you want the latest issue, go ahead and get your subscription so you get that delivered by mail, but it will end up in the database eventually. And so it's searchable there. You also get indexing for many other journals beyond those 340 plus that are in full text, as well as some essay collections, some books of published essays. So those are all indexed in the Atlas Religion database. We also have, this is a new offering, the Sage Religion Journals collection. This is a collection of full text e-journals that supplements what's available in the Atlas Religion database. So that fills out some full text holdings there. And this is good for accessing the most recent issues of some of those journals, because many of them that are in the Sage Religion collection have an embargo where there's a delay, could be 2 years or more before those articles end up in the Atlas Religion database in a full text, even though they're indexed right away. So you can get access to them through the Sage Religion collection. Ebooks. This is an entirely new category for alumni as of this spring. And the first thing we have is our Ebsco Ebooks collection. This is our main ebook collection. It contains over 250,000 titles, both from Covenant and a shared collection from Mobius that are available to our alumni to read online or in some cases download to their computer or tablet. And that includes commentaries, theology books, counseling books, and much, much more. There's tons of stuff in there. We also have in there available to alumni the Sage Knowledge collection. This is a social sciences collection primarily, including coverage of counseling, psychotherapy, and psychology. It includes some nice reference material as well. So that's a neat collection for anyone in the graduating with an MAC. And finally, we have the Hermenea commentary series. It's a very scholarly, very technical, critical commentary series published by Fortress Press. It's just broken out here because it's on its own separate platform. So you'll see it listed separately among our alumni resources. So that is what we provide access to our alumni. You know, it's a fairly sizable collection. You know, the Atla Religion Database, the Ebsco Ebooks, and the other resources. So how do you get access to these? So you'll access these through the Alumni Portal. Alumni access is not managed through the library website. So whenever you want to access these resources, you'll have to train yourself to resist that kind of muscle memory of going to the library website to access these resources. Instead, you'll visit the Alumni Portal. It's like the student portal, but it's for alumni. And you can access that at portal.covenantseminary.edu/alumni. And you do need to register for Alumni Portal account. Your old student portal, My CTS login will not work. They don't automatically create an account for you at graduation. It is something you have to go and register for access to, but it's very easy. And I just want to show you some of that right now. So let me pop over to my web browser here. And I will go to portal.covenantseminary.edu/alumni. So a very sparse login page, but if you have not gotten your Alumni Portal login yet, you haven't set that up, you use this link right down here where it says request ID password. Also, if you've requested it before but forgot your password, this would be your option to do a password reset. And this is just a form that goes to our Alumni Services Office. So they get your current contact information in case they need to reach out to you about anything and to verify that you are an alumni. And then they'll be back to you in 2 to 3 business days with your login information. So it's nice to get that set up ahead of time, store that password in your password manager so that whenever you do need to access those library resources, you're set up and ready to go. Now, I already have my Alumni Portal account here, so I'm going to log into mine. So now I'm in on the Alumni Portal, and there's all kinds of resources here from placement openings, alumni directory, and so on. Today, we're going to be looking at the library resources for alumni page right there. And so here's all those resources that I mentioned before from the Atla Religion Database, the Ebsco Ebooks, and so on. And you have a button under each one that will take you into that resource so that you can access it. So let me just show you a couple, I'm going to look at the Atla Religion Database and the Ebsco Ebooks, since those are the primary resources, and show you a couple things that may look a little bit different from your time as a student. So let me pop into Atla Religion Database there. So that'll log me in under our alumni account there. And of course, you have the scripture search up there if you're doing a sermon and you need to find some resources on a particular passage of scripture. And if you need a refresher on how that works, we have on the Alumni Portal linked our guide to finding articles on a Bible passage. I'm just going to do a quick search here for the phrase new wineskins and see what comes up here. So of course, as usual, as you're probably used to, if you've used Atla recently, you do have the results here, such as number 2, where you do have the PDF right there in the database, so I can get access to this journal article instantaneously. And just click that, read it, I can download it, save it to my computer. It's right there. We also have this one up here. So here's one of the titles, Expository Times, which is not available in Atla, or at least maybe this issue is not yet available. It's still fairly new, but it is available in the Sage Religion Journals collection. So we have a link right there that'll take me back to the Alumni Resources page, where I can go down to Sage Religion Journals, click through there and find and browse for this issue of the Expository Times to get access to that article. And lastly, you'll also see articles with this link to check library holdings in your area through WorldCat. So I can just click on that and that'll search for this journal in the WorldCat database so that I can find libraries near me that may hold it. Maybe I can, it's just a short drive across town to pop in and make a photocopy of that article. And of course, you can always do an interlibrary loan request through your local public library, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So that's all I wanted to just talk about real quick about the Atlas Religion Database. Just note those these different links, which maybe look a little bit different from what you're used to seeing as a student. But we tried to set this up so that it is useful for our alumni. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to toss them out at any time. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show off was the Ebsco Ebook, since this is a new resource for our alumni now. And I'm going to find Jay Sklar's commentary on Leviticus. Oh, thank you, autocorrect. Sklar, Leviticus. There we go. So as our current students who are about to graduate, this hopefully will be somewhat familiar to you if you've used our ebook collection before. So we have the books available here online, and you'll have different options on how to access them depending on what the publisher has provided. So you may see a PDF, which shows you the print layout. So it looks exactly, it's laid out exactly like the print book in terms of being pages, and it's just like looking at a photo of the book pages. So that's very handy, nice on your computer because you get that full book experience and including the page numbers that are stable. But if you're on a tablet or a phone or some other kind of mobile device and there's an EPUB available, that might be more helpful. That's an ebook format that has adjustable text size and it reflows the text to fit your screen. So you don't have the durable page numbers, but it's much easier to read on a smaller screen that way. So sometimes you'll see one, sometimes you'll see the other, sometimes you'll see both, as in this example, just depending on what the publisher has provided. The other thing I'd like to note is there are limits sometimes on how many people can use an ebook at a time and what you can do with an ebook. So you can scroll down on the record here to see those limits. So concurrent user level tells you how many people can access this ebook at once. And in this case, this is unlimited user access. So everyone in the Covenant Seminary community could all log in and access this ebook simultaneously. There's no limit on how many people can be using this ebook. That's great. Other ones, there may be a limit depending on what the publisher has agreed to sell us, and maybe one person at a time or 3 people at a time. And that will be indicated down here. The other thing is the publisher permissions, what the publisher will let you do. So this publisher, InterVarsity Press, will let you print, email, or save 100 pages from this book that you can just keep forever, per session. And I'll show you that in a second. And then also have unlimited copy and paste. So if you need to quote a section of the book, you can actually just copy the text out of the book and paste it into your Word document. Some publishers have copy and paste disabled, and so you would have to manually retype that section. And they do have differing limits on the number of pages that you're allowed to print, email, or save at a given time. So let's go into the book real quick and just take a look at this. So you can read the book online this way, just pop in. And there's a couple options here in terms of beyond just accessing it this way. So one option, as we mentioned, was print, email, or save. And so you can do individual sections here as long as they fit within that limit of 100 pages. Or you have the functions up here. So if you find yourself on a particular page that let's go to page 80, for example. We'll scroll through down here. And let's say, this is the, where I want to start. I'm on page 85. I want to save this page. So I want to save this page. Well, I can't get the entire section of 251 pages, but if I just need this page and the next 10 pages, I can save that as a PDF. So we'll download that, and there we go. There's my PDF, which is now this is mine that I can just save on my computer and keep. And you can see it took off 11 pages from my limit for this session. So now I can do 89 more pages. I can also do a full download, a checkout of this ebook. This is not available for one user ebooks, for example, but if it's like a 3-user or an unlimited user, you can check out the ebook for an amount of time and save that for offline use for that duration of the checkout. Now, to be able to do that, you'll need to register for a My Ebsco host account. That's with the ebook service here so that they can track your checkout. And you'll also need to download the Adobe Digital Editions app, which is the ebook reader software that works with the encrypted downloads. And then you'll have offline access to the book for the duration of the checkout that you selected. And after that time, the book will just lock and you'll no longer have access unless you check it out and download it again. So if I want to download it, I'll need to sign in. I've already created my account where you can sign up if you don't already have a Ebsco host account. And then I can choose how long I want to borrow the book for, anywhere from 1 to 14 days, choose my format if applicable, and then I have to acknowledge that I have the Adobe Digital Edition software. If you don't, you can just click that link and that'll take you to the web page where you can download that app. And then I can check out this book and download it to my computer and open it in Adobe Digital Editions, which I won't do right this second. The last thing I'll mention, so we talked about one-user ebooks you can only access online while you're online. In most other cases, you will be able to, you will have that full download option as long as there is an available copy. But also in some limited cases, there are actually no restrictions on the ebook whatsoever in terms of its download. So you won't have to sign in. The ebook will download it as an unencrypted PDF or EPUB file, and that ebook is yours to keep. So you may see that from time to time. We'll move on to talking about in-person services for alumni. So we love when alumni come back to visit the library, whether they're living locally here in St. Louis and they visit us on a regular basis, or if alumni, we see them when they make special trips to St. Louis. I'm sure we'll see a lot of alumni this summer for GA in St. Louis. But we can always recommend that at some point, maybe taking a study leave to come visit St. Louis, audit a class, do some studying in the library, take a little sabbatical and prepare your next sermon series and use the library resources on site. But whatever brings you back to the library, we're very happy to see you. And you're more than welcome to use any materials on site, or you can get an alumni card to check out items from the library collection. Scanning is of course free, or we can set you up with a paper cut account to print or copy, which does cost a small amount. Checkout privileges for the alumni card for those physical materials. You just have to get those checkout privileges, you just fill out a form at the circulation desk, or we have an online form that you can use, and I'll show you that in a moment. You get the same 4-week checkouts and 2 renewals that our students get. You can log into the library catalog online with your alumni ID card and renew items online. And you have a limit of 20 items. Do have to mention some things that are not included with the alumni account. So alumni do not get access to Mobius, but for those of you who are local, the St. Louis County Public Library is a Mobius member. So you can request Mobius books through St. Louis County Public if you're a county resident. We do not offer alumni interlibrary loan service, but again, your local public library, whether here in St. Louis or wherever you are in the country, can help you out with interlibrary loan requests for books or journal articles. And then, of course, as we already talked about, not every online resource is available to our alumni. The alumni card doesn't grant you any access. It's all through the Alumni Portal, which we just talked about. But we do have some more resources from the library that you may be interested in. So feel free to send us questions. If you have a research question, toss it our way. Of course, priority goes to our students and helping them with their reference questions first, but we're glad to help as we have time with our alumni's questions. You can follow us on social media for updates about the library and new book announcements, and just keep tabs on what's going on in the literature. So you can follow us at Covenant Library on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. You can check out our research guides on our library website. We have, of course, our commentary guide, guides to different subjects, and guides to writing that you still may find useful when you're out in ministry and not at school. There's still some applicable information there. And you're also welcome to attend our workshops. So every semester we do try to put together a series of workshops on different research tasks and topics, and they can really help you make the best use of those resources that we provide for alumni. So that can help refresh your research skills. So to learn more, you can visit our Alumni Resources Guide, which we have on the Alumni Portal. Down at the bottom of the Alumni Library Resources is our link to our guide, which has more resources available on it. So again, this walks you through a lot of the information I just covered in the presentation, including here is the link to the form where you can sign up online for your alumni library card. There's the online resources of the Alumni Portal. We have some free online research tools highlighted here. So beyond the restricted access things in the Alumni Portal, these are freely available resources that we think our alumni would be interested in making use of. Journal articles, ebooks, just searching for books in general to get through interlibrary loan. And if you do need to make use of your local public library to request something through interlibrary loan, again, whether that be a book that you want to get or a journal article that isn't available online through the ATLA database, we have some tips down here on how to make the most efficient use of your public library's interlibrary loan. Just some tips and suggestions that we've found useful, particularly for our distant students, and are absolutely applicable to our alumni. So that is all I have for you today. So there's the link again to that Alumni Resources Guide if you want to jot that down. You can first find that by navigating our library website through the help page, and then the library email address if you have any questions after the session is over or down the road someday. If you have a research question, you can send that in. We hope to see you in the future, whether online or here in the library once again.